Boom, boom. This is Kendra, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. All right, got a bit Soulland loaded up today, so let's go ahead and jump on. We got a few things going on here. So, as you know, the second event for Evil Eye Daibuba has ended. So, we've got, you should be walking away with, what's the number of shards? We should have about 110. Let's see if that's actually, I think they gave away one or two free ones. So we might have a little bit more than that. Yeah, 111. But we should be able to get those last 19 or 20 shards in the next final event, which will be the next event where they will introduce the next new SS character, which, if we look at our listing, is Xiaobai. So whenever they introduce him, we should get a, there'll be a Soul Master sale box. There'll be a chest in there for 20 shards. And inside of that will be die. So, and you use those to, of course, finish him. So that's holding true to exactly like they did with the SS Plus. All right, so keep that in mind. So another, week and a half before that comes out. So let's take a look at what else we got. Okay, time limited events. We've got, as I said, log in. This is going to be ending, but make sure you get it because these very, very hard to get the Devil Spider Soul Cores. It's one of the things that's difficult to get. Extended bone chests and whatnot, you can probably get that. Super value weekly fund. This, if you did pay for this, is going to be ending in a couple of days as well. Okay. Battle pass still going on. Lucky treasure. The lucky treasure is associated with the Crimson Cut. Okay. Crimson Cut. It's going to be lasting for another. Today is going to be up again tomorrow, but make sure you do get everything that's associated with this. Unfortunately, the hidden login reward for this is I've got both of these at maxed out, so it's not really helping me that much. As do I have all of the actual hidden weapons, SS hidden weapons maxed out. So this is really nothing useful in this for me, but I went ahead and participated in the event. You want to get the resources, of course, that are available. Okay, it's useful stuff. Now there is a hidden weapon sale. Definitely want to get all this stuff as well as the shards. Get 30 here, and you get 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You get 30 here, so you get 60. 5, 10. So that's 10, 20, and 30 plus the 30 from that. So that's 60. So make sure that you do complete 10. That's really easy. The Soul Beast Invasion to X10, you can do that in a day easy. I mean, it used to be 30 and 40. I think it was, if I remember correctly, I believe it used to be up around 30. Or it might have even been 45 at one time, so you really had to focus on it. It's not that way anymore. So you can get them fairly easy. So just make sure that you do it 10 times and you should be able to get it. There's also 10 times associated with this right here. If you do the gain token, there's tasks right here. So if you do 30 inside of here, you can get some extra rewards. Okay, as you can see, I've already knocked out 29, so I just need to do one more, which I will easily do tomorrow. And hopefully you can get lucky in here and hit something like this, but never know. I don't generally have much luck with that particularly. So it is what it is. Duel Carnival. Now we've still got 4 days left on this. So keep that in mind. Okay, so don't spend any of the radishes until you get towards the end, and then you can of course use it on the resource exchange and purchase what you need: tickets, soul bones. We got some essence here. So there's some interesting stuff in here. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and purchased some of these shards simply because of the fact that I'm using them to enhance the dragon, and I'll be purchasing more of them because I'm trying to get my I'm trying to get Giant Dragon. I'm trying to get him up to trying to complete his tier to get him up to tier 5. To do that, you need S inside of the inheritance. Okay, so any S type can go in here. See, any S, so any spirit soul S. So purchase S's, or cash when or whatever you need to do. To get 300 so you can take him up, because it's a pretty big boost, as you can see. Okay, so you know it's get you some pretty good BP, and this is an SS plus. Okay, so that makes it even better. Okay, and then keep the other ones going. We've do got a couple down here that need to be cleared. We got Dark Tunnel Ice Grass, and we've got the Dark Devil Tiger. Uh, both of these, well, this one actually will be pretty close. This one's a little bit different. Okay, shards get shards for her. Sort of like here, there, here, there. Get shards for her. So unlike the others, which have been fairly easy to get. So I've been running enough for two teams. I have, I can run two and then that one. So I've been able to run two teams, which is good because you can run four. Once you get up to level 100, I believe it is, you can run four Spirit Souls. So that makes it pretty easy at that point. Keep up with the advanced anniversary celebration. We're almost to 150,000 shares. Once we do, we'll get some more. We'll get another chest with all of the goodies in it. So keep an eye on that. Now, as you can see, I'm up to 3407. A lot of that is due to the Martial Souls. I did manage to get my hands on a good one. Wrong one. Collection. I did manage to get one of the Mystics. Drew it today. Blue Silver Empress. Went ahead and pumped in some enhancements in it just to see, and it drove up the BP massively. So I just got to get the 9-hearted begonia and the velvet chrysanthemum, and I'll be able to make a set. Okay. But yeah, so these really don't go onto anything. Okay, so keep that in mind. But we got a lot of shards and stuff out here. So as you can level them up. As you can see, I've got 2 on Chopper. So you can start to level them up. As you can see, they come up with a hollow star, and as you can see, I've already starting to upgrade them. And then of course I got lucky with the Blue Silver Empress today. But as I said, you have to join the sect. That's the only way to get the actual items. It's through the sect. Okay, take part in the Martial Soul tournament. You'll get the rewards from within here. Okay, and then you get them from within the shop. Okay, right here. Okay, so that's the way to get them. So you have to try to do as best as you can, and then you'll be able to get them. And you just need to join. You don't need to participate much, but if you want to get full fledged, you're going to have to go into the Martial Soul tournament. You're going to need to compete because to purchase, you'll be able to purchase 3 of them, but you won't be able to purchase the other 3 unless you compete because you need the actual currency from the tournament. So you need to compete. So just go ahead and do your 3 battles and get the rewards so that you can purchase them, and that will give you you can get usually 10 or a little bit more inside of things. So that way it allows you to do the draw every day because you always want to do a 10 as always, because 10 guarantees you a middle or higher soul force. So I can do another 10 right here. So I just completed the battle this evening. So let's see what we get. And okay, so we got our hands on a fire cone. So it's going to be pretty good jump in BP. And I got a set. I've completed a set. Okay, so I've got increased team by 5. So this is my first set. Okay. So now watch when I go back to the main screen. See? Look at that. Okay. 9 million, approximately 9 million BP, just like that. So this can be exceedingly useful in terms of getting your BP up. You get some rewards. You get some soul power crystals, some more tickets, shards. So I got 2 more Blue Silver Empress. So we get upgradable. Okay, you can actually do it from within here. So you got the snake staff. You can upgrade it, and as you get the charge, you're taking them up. It's okay to upgrade them. I would not spend, like I say, wait to enhancements. Wait until you actually get some of the really good stuff before you start worrying about the enhancements, and wait till you can make a set. Okay, simply because the fact that it takes a lot to actually enhance these up, and uh, you can go through this fairly quick, especially on the Blue Server for Shard that I was working on. When you start getting up into the levels, it starts to get pretty heavy. So you want to keep that in mind. But like I say, these do not go on any type. They do not equip to your character or anything like that. So there really isn't any, any type of um, thing that you really need to worry about uh, to fit them on a character. Just what you're doing is you're just making the actual, making the actual martial souls and just having them give you BP. And as you make the sets, you get team buffs and whatnot. So it's affecting it, but it's affecting it from a little bit from the side in terms of that. So do got my first set. So this fire crane's pretty high up there to make the set. So we've got quite a few to get. Yeah, like you want to start making sets involving these is when you're going to see. Imagine the BP jump. I mean, this was a fairly low set. Okay, and it just gave me like 9 million BP. So you can imagine completing some of these higher sets that are using all three of these. You can imagine the amount of BP that you get from these, making a set from these. It'd be amazing. So let's see here. So here's what it is. It's called the it doesn't have a name, but I guess it's called Sky. So yeah, it's Windbell, Bird, Thunder Eagle, and a Fire Crane. So now as you get better stars, a 0-star effect, which is what I've got, which increases the team hit point just by 5%. So what I'd like to get to, of course, would definitely be a 2-star effect. Okay, so this is why drawing on this on a daily basis is exceedingly important, so that you can get the shards to level them up and enhance them up. But you definitely want to try to get to 2, because that's going to increase the team's attack. It explains a little bit about it here, the story behind each of them. But yeah, so that's the first one. So it's got the Sky set. So I like it. It's pretty good. I think it's some of these are going to be really good sets, and I think that yeah, completing some of those with the high set would be pretty heavy. So we got a Dragon Patter. Okay, there's another set. Oh, this is a good set right here. This increases the team attack by 5% right off the bat. So that's a pretty good one. That might be when I might start start enhancing. We got other shards here. But I think that's the only one because my collection achievements activate 3 martial soul combinations. So I got 5 more. You get a lot of soul. You get some of the soul power here as well too. So let's see what we get on that one. So yeah, look right there. Okay, so see this is going to enable you to increase your BP immensely, really fast. So much, I'm blistering right through these soul trials because I'm to the point now where I just need to increase my BP. But with these things, I'm doing, BP increases on a daily basis. You're getting at least 9 or 10 BP just from, even if you don't make a set, you still get quite a bit of BP just when you form one, because it gives you a buff. Each one of them's worth a buff. So definitely want to join a sect, and you definitely want to be participating so that you can actually do some of the other things, and definitely benefit from the BP that are associated with the martial souls. So that's really all I've got at this point. Haven't had anything new except for the martial soul and the soul force trials with the soul force emerge. This is in reference to this. This is increased based on your divine power. If you take a look at help, it says the increase in soul power is relative to the soul master's grade and divine skill level. So basically what you're going to need to do is increase your divine skill. If you're not familiar with what that is, the divine skill is this right here. Okay, now on SS Plus characters, it is a multi-pronged effort. Okay, and you take a little bit of shards each one, and then you hit the final one. That's when you upgrade. Okay, as you can see, I'm almost completed Clear Skies Divine Skill. I'm working on it. I got to do the final sets. You start getting into some pretty high, see 110 just for one of the links, but it's worth it because you get a massive amount of BP from that. Plus, it's going to increase the soul power on that on the Soul Force draw. So you definitely want to do that. It's a lot easier to increase the divine skills on the SS characters. It was just plain. It was just plain little bit of shards each time, and you would complete it. It was just one facet. You got the shards upgrade, and that would take you to the next one. Okay, so, but as you can see, I've pretty much taken care of all of them. But the soul power that you get from this is only for the ones that are inside of the Soul Force. So there are no SS characters inside of here. These are all my SS Plus because they give the most soul power. I just hit place all. This is the ones that it placed in there. I assumed that it was going to place possibly Tang San or Chen in here because both of those have a little bit higher, are a little bit higher in there, but even just because they're SS plus, they put Tang Chen in here. Okay, I switched it out, put it in. It was lower with them in there. So this is about as high as it can get. So it's fairly accurate in its placement. But as you can see, it's pretty much all my SS plus characters. So that's what I'm working on. I get a little bit each time. You know, it's really difficult to come across the shards of Tang San because Tang San and Wu were just the last ones released. So the shards for those will be coming a little bit later. But you should have a bunch of shards, or we're able to get a bunch of shards for Clear Sky. You actually get both shards from your daily when you do your assistant Wu. From the Beast Soul shop, she's one of the shards. You get shards for her automatically, so keep that in mind. So that you you can just do hers naturally. So you might not want to use any of your chests for her because you can get shards to do her divine skill naturally without having to go through anything else. So you want to keep that in mind and make sure that you don't overdo that. And use the chests for ones that you can't get from a regular event. I think so far she's the only one that you're getting on a regular basis. You can sometimes get shards for each of the characters in here. Once you do the clear on this, you'll see they're offering shards. I've got Asura Tang San SS plus shards there. I've got Clear Sky shards there. They usually give you like 5 to 10, and it'd be like 500 diamonds. So it's definitely something that you might want to consider doing. So I check here every morning to see what they're gonna have for sale. And inside the shop, you can get dyes. I've got maxed out dye a long time ago. There's really not a whole lot we can do for him at that point. But they do offer all of the shards from that particular one, so definitely take part in that. So you should have your assistant Wu, and you should be running it each morning to get those shards. So Crimson Cut, you got another day for that, so make sure that that's finished up. Time limited event going away too, so we should have some new stuff coming up tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to do the Crimson Cut yesterday. I ran into some issues. And I wasn't able to do the video like I was originally planning to because I wanted to talk about the Crimson Cut. This is actually a pretty good hidden weapon. Okay, but what I really like about this is for each different target that the wearer's ultimate skill lands on, the wearer will gain a madness stack. Okay, this madness stack. So basically what you want to put this on is you want to put this on a character whose ultimate doesn't it has an area of effect ultimate, okay, because it's just for each different target. So you want to try to put it on the character that has a fast ultimate proc that hits all of the enemy characters, because you get a stack of madness on each different one. Okay, so you do that, you're going to get it increases attack speed, dual death block, and crit res by 5%. But here's the thing, it lasts till the end of the battle, and you can have up to 6 stacks. This is exceedingly powerful, but it gets better. The wearer gains life steal, stealing 8% of physical damage as hit points, doubled for melee damage. So what you want to try to do, and then each level of madness will increase lifesteal by 1%. Okay, 5% of damage is offset for each instance of damage taken, doubled for melee damage. 80% of the offset will be converted to HP. Okay, so this is an exceedingly, it's just got so many things that it does. It's just ridiculous. And then this, when the wearer's hit point is lower than 30% for the next 8 seconds, taken damage will be converted to heal. After recovering hit points equivalent to the wearer's attack, wearer will exit bloodthirsty stance. Okay, so what you're seeing is, so the qualifications for this are simple. First, you want to put it on a quick proc ultimate. You want to put it on somebody that's in melee. This is what's interesting about it. It's because you would think, because you want quick proc melee, all targets hit. So the very specific settings this can go on is you want to make sure that, because it's in melee, because if the hit points, it gets more hit points if it's melee damage. So that means you want to try to keep it on the front line as you get the best benefit from the actual weapon. So problem that might be caused by that is the fact that sometimes if they're a melee character, their ultimate might not hit all the characters, so you're going to have to be very selective in what you're doing. So like I got Clear Sky right here. His ultimate, okay, skill past, you want it to hit all of the actual characters. So they don't really do that. Okay, so you got to be ready. You see, most of your characters like that. So this one, the prime of this one would be for, because she has AOE. Okay, but it's a buff. So, but it's an ultimate. So so you got to be really selective with what you want to put it on. I think some of the SS Plus characters are probably that'll be in melee. Will have an area of attack melee that will be effective. But just make sure that you put it on one that's going to hit all of the targets. Okay, so so just keep that in mind, that it's something that you need to have the ultimate procs on, and make sure that it does hit all of the actual characters, so that you can so that you can benefit from the actual skill that it procs off of. So it's a really good weapon. I think it's probably one of the best weapons we've seen, and it's called the Crimson Cut. We're not really close. This is its first actual entrance of it, so it's a brand new weapon, and it's an SS Plus, which is really surprising. I thought they would be starting going, because I'm hearing that there's triple S weapons and whatnot. So I thought we'd probably start seeing those now that we were seeing triple S characters, but that's not the case. So we still have a ways to go to get there, but he's definitely going to be one I'm focusing on. Okay, because right now I've got the Crimson Sky is on a Ren, because that's a shield. It increased her survivability very well, and I've got the Terror of Ghosts on Clear Sky, because that gives a little bit of defense too. Okay, I don't have any of these. This one up is what I want to put on a melee character, because it has some capabilities for that. But I haven't got it leveled up yet. So I'm hoping we'll get to see a little bit more of these actual things. So as you can see, we've got 2 SS hidden weapons uh, on the way. In the Crimson Cut, we still need to get 30. So the next event is going to give us 15, and we'll get 75. So the next one that we're going to actually complete will be the Light Spirit Blade. Not a bad weapon. Not a bad weapon at all. The bad thing about this is whenever the wearer strikes 8 times, 16 times in PV, okay, they will deal additional 6 bouts of damage to the current target. So it's exceedingly powerful, but you got to make sure that it's one, and you got to wait for the striker to strike 16 times in PvE. I guess that means 8 times in PvP. So it has a little bit of qualifications to it as well. But this, yeah, Crimson Cut is definitely one of the best I have seen so far. All of these bode well for making it one of the top weapons that you want to do. Increasing your attack speed. I mean, that's just it's not a small amount either, and it's stackable, which makes it even more powerful. But like I say, it's got some qualifications. You know, you need an AOE for the ultimate, because you want to hit the more characters you hit with the AOE. Like if you have a character who does an ultimate and it's just like a massive swing that hits one target, that's not useful. You'll get one stack. You know, I mean, you'll get one of the stack of buff, but you can get if you can hit them all, you get 4 stacks, which is much more powerful. So that's definitely why you want to do that. And then, of course, it's got the prerequisite. You still do get healing, but if you're getting hit taking melee damage, then you might get more healing if it's melee. So one place that I was thinking about that this might be really good is in the actual Soul Ascension platform. Because in the Soul Ascension platform, they actually, when you're fighting the levels, they actually spawn, when they spawn their progeny, they come from all over. So getting, hit by a melee attack from one of those is very common, especially when you're fighting the turtles. Been noticing this. So, the bird procs some of its, you kill them and then they'll proc again, and they're coming from both sides of the screen. So it's virtually impossible to actually not take some melee damage. So most of the damage that you're going to be taking is going to be melee damage from these characters. So especially when you're fighting the turtles, I'm fighting the birds right now. I'm not exactly sure how much, but I'm pretty sure they do a little bit of melee damage too. I know the main one does, but yeah, they stick a lot to that. So this will be very, very useful inside of the Soul Ascension platform. I haven't gotten very far. I'm only up to 12.4. But, yeah, so I think it'd be useful here. Another place that might be useful would be inside of the Treant, even though, because I think when he does his, fists into the ground and it shoots up out, I think that's considered physical damage. I think that's considered melee damage as well. But it is ranged, but it's not technically a ranged attack. It's still actually coming from him. So I have to see whether or not it considers that to be a melee attack, because he's using his branches, which are just really long arms. So technically it's melee. But I don't know if they'll consider it melee. But if it is, then it would be exceedingly useful inside of there as well. So there are some applications where you could put it, put it on that, but you definitely want to have, you can put it on put it on one of your ranged attackers. You're still going to get the benefits. You'll get more benefits, of course, from the AoE, but you won't get quite as much of the heal and whatnot from. But if you're a ranged attacker, that really wouldn't make that much of a difference. But if you want to get the complete benefit, you want it to be on a melee, quick ultimate that hits all characters. Okay, so that would be your best option for it. But if you don't have a melee that does an AoE attack, which a lot don't, surprisingly, then just stick it on your ranged characters. That way you'll get the full attack and the attack speed buff, and you'll get multiple stacks of that. Most of the magic damage, like Seaguy, they hit all the characters. So he's going to get the full buff. But because he's not in melee, he's not going to need the heal. He's still going to get a heal, but it just won't be the extra percentage of heal because it's not a melee attack. Well, it could be a melee attack, but generally not. because my tanks, Clear Sky and Red, don't die very often. So in the boss battles they die, of course, in PvP. But so usually, if they're getting into your backfield and you're taking melee damage on your ranged attacker, things have gotten bad. Your front line's dead. You're probably going to be dead quick too, because when the front line goes, your ranged attackers, your healer, and they don't last long. They're not supposed to. They don't have the survivability for that. Although Sea God's survivability is quite good, even when the front line have gone down in some of the PvP matches. He's enabled me to beat PvP characters that are much higher in my BP, simply because of the fact that he does a ton of damage and he has good survivability. So that makes him one of the. As they've said, him and Wu are both OP. I'm working on Wu right now, working on her Soulbone set, getting her up in place. But yeah, so that's where we're at that point. So just remember to read the requirements on some of these. But this sounds like a really, really good one. So it's definitely something that you might want to look into equipping. All right, so that's all I've got. Remember to watch the video, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell. You'll get notified each time. Also remember to like and share the video. Helps out with the views. And again, Kenrir, still in the corner, still coming at you, signing out.